Welcome back. We have covered the strategy, the team, and the architecture. But you can't build a frontier firm on a whiteboard. Today, we are logging in. We are going to provision your Microsoft Foundry environment. And then we are going to explore some features of it. Open your laptops. Let's build. So, we are going to provision a Microsoft Foundry resource. There are actually two ways to do it. You can click on Create, and you find on the marketplace the Foundry. Click on Create, select a name. Let's call it the Foundry Hub. Select Sweden Central. And by default, you need to select a default project name. So every Foundry resource needs at least one Foundry project. You click on Review and Create, and what I want you to see here is actually the automation template. If you go to Microsoft Cognitive Services and then you scroll down to Resources, you will see that it will create a Key Vault, Application Insights, Search Service, Storage Accounts, Document DB, Document Intelligence, a lot of resources. Okay? Remember, in the first few videos, I show you that everything now is governed inside Microsoft Foundry. Remember the part where I talk about security? So now we don't need to do the VNet private network for every single resource. You do it at the Foundry level, and then everything is inherent inside. You click on Create, and then we are going to wait a few seconds. So that's the first way. The second way is to go to ai.azure.com, and by default you will see the classic portal. So this is the classic portal. If you want to use the new portal, you go on the top right, start building, and then you select a project. But as I am already creating the Foundry Hub and the project in the other tab, we are just going to wait a few seconds to finish. The Foundry is created. We go to the Foundry portal. You have the classic experience. You can go to the new experience and select the project we created, project default for Sweden Central, and click and let's go. Now, this is the new Foundry experience. Let's start discovering. Let's go to the Discover tab, click on Models. You have a really big inventory of open source model, proprietary models from OpenAI, from cloud. You have also Mistral, DeepSeek, but the most important for me is the model router. This is going to save a lot of money for you and your clients. So you create a model router, click on deploy with custom settings, and basically this model will take your input, analyze it, and forward it to one of the available models depending on the complexity of your question. So let's go to model router configuration and route to a subset of models. Here you can see that all OpenAI models are available, but you also have models like Llama, DeepSeek, Grok, and some of the cloud models. For now, I'm going to use route to all supported models and click on deploy. That's it. That's super fast. We have the model router, and I didn't have to deploy 12 different models. It's just one. So You already deployed a model that will appear on the Build tab under Models. You have Model Router, GPT-4.1 because I deployed. But you can browse any specific model you want and deploy it outside the model router. If you want a specific inference from a specific model, you can still do it. And not only for text, but also multimodal, like Sora 2 for video generation. On the Tools tab, you can see the entire inventory of MCP servers and tools that you can reuse in your own agentic solutions. But you even have solution templates, and solution templates are pre-built kits with the required resources already set up for you. For example, call center voice agent. It uses specific resources like speech or text to speech. So you create a call center voice agent easier. Or you can just reuse it as a template to build something more powerful. Once you deploy a model, like we did for the model router, it doesn't appear here because this is the inventory tab. You go to build, and in build you have the model tabs, and this is what we already know, like the deployment stuff that we had in the classic way. Here we can create agents. An agent can have tools like those ones from the inventory I just showed you, 1477, can connect to a knowledge, which can be Azure AI Search or other kind of knowledge like Fabric. You can define the memory and you can define guardrails. That's for agents, but there is also something called workflows. A workflow, it looks very similar to what you used to have, like prompt flow, which was a designer to design your workflow. And a workflow, you can do it sequentially or human in the loop, and you just define the steps that you want. It looks similar to Power Automate. Basically, you drag and drop actions, you define what those actions do, and you get a response at the end. Tools, here is where you connect to a tool. So you saw the inventory, but we don't have any connected tool at the moment now. Okay, so here is where you connect the tools. Then in knowledge is where we connect to the knowledge, like AI search or SharePoint, for example. And then you also have other tools like evaluation and guardrails. In the operate tab is where we will have compliance reports, where we can create policies and make sure those policies are enforced, or the quota. And finally, on the admin tab is where you're going to see every single project created inside the Microsoft Foundry. So remember, everything that you see here, it's inside the Foundry Hub. If I go to the resource group and I click on refresh, now let's go to the resource group. You will see there is no storage account, there is no AI search, there is no key vault. They don't appear here because they are inside the Foundry. And that's great. That simplifies infrastructure a lot. And the part of networking is a lot easier for your infra guys to work with, no? I hope you guys like this video. In the next videos, we are going to deep dive into very specific features. And at some point during the masterclass, we are going to deep dive and do things with code because that's I know what you like. See you in the next video.